OTN, that is Optical Transport Network. So here in this video I am going to cover about benefits of OTN, what's the standard of OTN, how OTN framework works, and what are the layer of OTN and how client signal map and how lower order to high order multiplexing occur in OTN. In OTN we can transmit high bandwidth up to 100 GB and more. It's provide 256 FVC bytes that are forward error correction bytes and more level of TCM bytes that are tandem connection monitoring bytes. G.871 define the framework of OTN. G.872 and G.873 define the network architecture, and G.709 define the structure and mapping of OTN. OTN frame consists of 4 row and 4080 columns. In OTN frame, it consists row 1, column 1 to 7 frame alignment byte, row 1, column 8 to 14 OTUK overhead bytes, row 2 to 4 and column 1 to 14 ODUK overhead bytes, row 1 to 4 and column 15-16 OPUK overhead bytes, and row 1 to 4 column 17 to 3824 payload, and column 3825 to 4080 FVC, that is forward error correction bytes. A client signal, which can be SONET traffic, STS traffic or IP traffic over any ATM traffic, on this client signal will add the overhead bytes, that are OPUK overhead bytes, and it will create the optical payload unit, that is OPU. And on this OPU payload unit, now we'll add more overhead bytes for ODUK overhead bytes and TCM bytes, that are tandem connection monitoring bytes, and it will create ODUK payload. On ODU, we'll add more overhead bytes for OTUK overhead bytes and 256 FVC bytes, that are forward error correction bytes, and it will create a OTU unit, optical transport unit. All these three units are electrical layer of OTN. Then we'll map this OTU signal on optical channel, and it will create a OCH, that are optical channel. Similar way, we have multiple OTU that are assigned to optical signal, and these are creating multiple OCH here. And we'll add the OCH overhead bytes on OSC signal, and it's create OMS section, that are optical multiplex section. And here we'll add more OMS overhead bytes and adding the OTS overhead bytes and creating complete OTS section. And we'll send the OTM communication bytes also in OSC channels. All these three layers, OCH, OMS and OTS, are optical layer. So in OTN we have 6 layers, 3 are electrical and 3 are optical. So electrical layers are OPU, ODU and OTU, and optical layer are OCH, OMS and OTS. Here I have divided the chart into two parts. One side we have lower order ODU and other side we have OTU and higher order ODU. On lower order ODU side, client signal map like the OPU optical payload unit, and higher side it will map to optical signal. So on lower order ODU side, we have these four legs: ODU 1, ODU 2, ODU 3 and ODU 4. And on the higher order side or OTU side, we have OTU 1, OTU 2, OTU 3 and OTU 4. ODU 1 on the lower order side accepts CBR 2G5 signal, that is 2.5G, or STM16 or OC48 traffic. We can directly transmit on OTU1 adding the OTU cable overhead pipes. On ODU2, again map CBR 10G, that is 10GB signal, or STM64 or OC192, and will directly map on OTU2. On ODU3, again map CBR 40G, that is 40G signal, or STM256 or OC768, and will map on ODU3 layer. On ODU4, we have 100G client signal and will map on ODU4 on the optical side. Now, if we want to transmit ODU1 into ODU2, so we need to contain 4 ODU1 together and will create higher order ODU2 and will map on ODU2. Similarly, if ODU1 we want to transmit ODU3, so we'll use 16 ODU1 and create ODU3 on the higher order side and will map on ODU3. And 40 ODU1 we can create higher order ODU4 and will transmit on ODU4. Similar way, if we want to transmit ODU2 into ODU3 or higher order ODU3, so we'll make 4 ODU2 together and create a higher order ODU3 and will map on ODU3. And 10 ODU2 we can create ODU4 and will map on ODU4 layer. And if we want to transmit ODU3 and use 2 ODU3 and will map on higher order ODU4. Okay. Later on, after this feature, around in 2000, the requirement came to send Ethernet traffic on OTN. For that, ITUT introduced one more payload that is only on lower ODU side, that is ODU 0, where we can transmit Ethernet signal for 1.25G. But on the higher order side, we don't have any OTU 0 layer. We have only OTU 1, OTU 2, OTU 3 and OTU 4. So to transmit ODU 0 on any of the OTU layer, we'll do the multiplexing. On ODU 0, we'll create 2 ODU 0 together, and on higher order side, ODU 1 and we'll map on ODU 1. If we want to transmit in ODU 2, so 8 ODU 0 together we can create 1 ODU 2 on higher order side. And 32 ODU 0 will create 1 ODU 3. And if we want to transmit in ODU 4, we need 80 ODU 0 and will map on ODU 4. And later on, like on the ODU 2 side also there was one enhancement, like in ODU 2 we can transmit STM64 or OC192 signal, which we can easily transmit on ODU 2. But now the requirement came to transmit pure Ethernet signal, that is for 10G, that bandwidth is higher than ODU2 payload. In ODU2 we have the payload for 10G, and ODU2, like currently in the STM64, that we also called as WAN signal, we have around 9.9 Gbps, so we can easily transmit in ODU. But for the pure Ethernet signal, that has the higher bandwidth than ODU2. For that, the new lower order ODU created, that is ODU2E, where we can transmit pure 10 GB Ethernet. As this ODU2 bandwidth is higher than OTU2, so we can transmit in OTU3 and OTU4. For this, using the 3 ODU2E, will create one ODU3 higher order side and will map on OTU3. And 10 ODU2E time slot we can use and will map on ODU4. And now the ODU flex has been also introduced on the lower order ODU side. Here we can transmit any client bitrate or GFP data. So this is flexible. This is only applicable for higher than OTU2 layer like 2.5G. So this data only can transmit in OTU2, OTU3 and OTU4. For this, we'll use n number of ODU flex time slot and transmit in ODU2. Similarly, n number we can create ODU3 and n number we can create ODU4 also.